Hello everyone, welcome to a bit of a first for the channel. I'm going to do a tournament report today. I played in the Hurling Darkness Conflikt 47 event over at the Warlord Games HQ a couple of weeks ago now, but I wanted to make sure I got all my thoughts together, wrote up my notes, got all the pictures. So it's not going to be like a video battle reports, and to be honest, it's the first time I'm doing it, so the pictures, I got a little bit hypey playing the game, forgot to take some. But we're going to go through it anyway and just kind of talk about the list that I took, the games that I played, the opponents I played against, the list styles, how they played into me, and that kind of thing. And maybe look at the missions that we played as well, just so we can get a feel for what that competitive environment is looking like and shaping up around Conflikt 47. I think the best place to start is going to be the list that I took. So theoretically, it should jump up on the screen now for you all to see. I had 2 platoons. I took my, obviously, compulsory assault platoon was the majority of my force. I had a platoon commander who was an officer in Galahad heavy armor. He was upgraded, even though it's a downgrade, it makes it cheaper, to have a heavy Tesla rifle. I had for 2 extra bodies with him. We both have LMGs. We took a point of guts. We gave a squad tough fighter, just thinking having a little bit of an extra attack each. Maybe they can do something if they have to. And he does have Pen 1 in combat because of his pulse mode. So, you know, do what you can. Then 2 units of heavy automated infantry. Both of these min-sized units of 2, but I do upgrade one of them to have the heavy automatic cannon. Having 2 units means that you can go early with one if you need to, fire that through your own troops using its active rift coordinated strike ability, and then you can also still have the other unit to provide the buffer zone. That was all my compulsory units. I did have 3 optional units in the platoon. I have a 5-man squad of Galahad armoured infantry. These are upgraded to veterans and tough fighters. No other upgrades, no pre-arms, anything like that. Kind of keeping the squad cheap-ish. 170 points still feels like an investment, but I wanted someone who could run 12 inches reliably, hold objectives, that kind of thing. Then we have the key linchpin to the force, a unit of Mark 1 automated infantry upgrade to have heavy machine guns. So there is 30 heavy machine gun shots coming out of this unit. If I support them properly with Mark 1s, they're hitting on 4s all the time. Puts out a decent chunk of firepower. 225 points, so it's a large points investment. But fearless, damage value 6+. It's kind of a key unit to the faction at the moment. It really bleeds into that automation playstyle. Finally, I rounded out the platoon with a Hunter mobile platform. This is a light anti-tank gun. Comes on the little tracked version of the Mark 1 infantry. They have hard to kill, so if you can keep them in cover, they get like a 3-up save. Really reliable. Again, if you keep them near the Mark IIs, you don't suffer the first off the line. Our second platoon was an armoured walker platoon. We took a veteran Percival, only taking it veteran, and there's no real options. It did have command vehicle, so it bumps it up an extra pip of morale. And then we have a Cerberus attack squad, which was 2 full sections, 2 handlers, and 6 dogs. People who've followed the channel for a while should know that I've kind of drifted out of competitive play because I don't like the person I become when I'm really trying to win and win tournaments. Well, luckily, this event was pitched as a casual tournament, more relaxed and focused game. So I felt like that British list was a decent point to kind of land at for my first foray. I didn't go too deep. The list I was looking at was like all Fireflies, all US jump stuff, and really leaning into like just ambushing people with that jump ability, getting my units into position, and just unloading all of my firepower as quick as I could, take out the main threats, use my mobility to get away, protect myself, and then I was like, no, it's supposed to be a fun event. I'm going to kind of just ease into it, not take it too seriously. I would, depending on the matchups, I was pretty good this time. I wasn't overly focused on just crushing everybody in front of me. I wanted to kind of get, if I lost all 3 games, I would have been gutted. I would have been disappointed. So I wanted to get one win, in for two. If I got 3 wins on the day, that would be great. I would have been very impressed. And Percival would have had to do a lot of heavy lifting for me to get 3 wins, I think. But it was a really good day, and we're going to go into it game by game. My first opponent was Tom, who was running an Axis force. Should pull up a picture I got of his army. So there are 3 units of Style Troopen, damage value 7+ Axis infantry, a huge unit of 12 Tone Core, a unit of 6 Schreckwolfen, the crawling Panzer IV, and I'm just going to call it the Locust because I can't pronounce that German name at the moment. I'll have to kind of spell it out. The Shrek is no, I don't know. Yeah, the Locust. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so he had the really rugged infantry that can kind of shrug off a lot of my small arms fire. The only targets my LMGs had on my on the Galahads to shoot at were going to be a Totem Core, which is never a fun experience. And then I had hopefully enough firepower to try and deal with a Schreckwolfen. The mission that we played was Seek and Destroy. It was a good opening mission for the day, right? You just ease in with some kill points. And the event for the day had secondary objectives that were going to be used for tiebreakers. So no impact on whether you won or lost the game, but how many secondaries you accrued throughout the day would impact your standing for people you were tied with on match wins. So the secondary for this one was table quarters. You got 1 point for holding your own, 2 points for holding the neutral quarters, and 3 points for your opponents. So obviously table quarter deployment, and we were using meeting engagement, so you've got to walk your units onto a table. That was the key factor that I was struggling with, because the British Army is pretty slow. Having to walk onto a table quarter, it was a little bit spicy. The early game went pretty okay. I didn't do any damage to Totem Core. I put all of my fire from the HMGs, the light autocannons, heavy autocannons into the Schreckwolfen, got a couple of them down. My light anti-tank gun immobilized the Locust, and then the Percival came on. And I think this was a mistake I made of the game. The more I think back on it, I wasn't happy with the Locust sitting there immobilized because it's got a medium anti-tank gun, and I thought it could, if it takes out my Percival, it's unfortunate, right? I didn't want to lose the Percival to one shot, so I was going to be going first next turn because of a superior code breaking lets you choose to go first or second in one of the turns. So I didn't really need to be that concerned about it. So I should have brought the Percival on to come across its arc when it can't shoot me because it's down this turn anyway. Focused on the Schreckwolfen, and then next turn gone again with a Percival and pushed past its arc so that it could no longer shoot me because its weapons are forward facing. I didn't. I decided to focus my fire onto it, took it out, got myself a cheeky dice and an early lead in the game. But at that point, I really struggled to do any more damage to a Schreckwolfen. As the Totem Core got closer and closer to my lines, the Totem Core screening, so the Schreckwolfen always had cover. It just meant that they were getting the 3-up saves. I just couldn't kill them. Yeah, I think my entire army shot at them turn 2, and I got them down to 3 models in that fight. The turn after that, Rift Dice failed me. I had to pull the Percival back, so it didn't have an active Rift Dice anymore. And that kind of made the game very difficult. If I got a surging Rift Dice in next turn to come back in, but the Totem Core were already in my lines killing stuff. The Schreckwolfen were charging this turn, so if I didn't one-shot them, it was game over. So I brought the Percival in, used its surging dice, full shot from the cannon, killed another one Schreckwolfen, and then immobilized myself. So that wasn't ideal. But yeah, the light anti-tank gun on the Hunter platform was the standout. One shot onto the onto a Locust, kind of should have taken out a game I hadn't played badly and kind of over-indexed on it. But yeah, the key turning points were that wasted firepower. Because I'd had to move onto a table and I was focused on getting fire on the Schreckwolfen, I was overly clumped so that when he got his activation for turn 2, the Schwerfield projector just walked into range and just annihilated me. I think I lost 4 of the Mark 1s and a Mark 2 to one shot. It wasn't pretty, but them to break. You can't use any line of fire tricks against it. There's not much you can do other than hope that he rolls badly, and he didn't. So that ended with him absolutely tabling me. I had nothing left, so he got a ton of secondary points, and the game finished, I think, 8-1. I think the only thing I actually killed was the Locust. So yeah, it wasn't going to be a good day at that point. I was a little bit worried that I'd over-indexed on the friendliness, maybe. Game 2, I was paired up against Sam, who was running another Axis list. This one leaned into heavy armor again. No Totem Core this time, but we do have 4 units of Style Trooper this time, including a big 6-man block with Fanatical, so a really good combat threat. He did have an anti-tank rifle team brought in from bolt action, and a Stug and a Tiger. So he had some real heavy armor there. There's a Vogel Spinner as well. And yeah, I wasn't too stressed about this army. I felt that as long as I just didn't run at the Tiger, I will be okay. Because the Tiger's just going to kill something every time it shoots, right? My Percival needs to just not be there. It's slow. As long as I can use the mech's maneuverability to my advantage, I can kind of dance around the Tiger a little bit. This mission was hold until relieved, and it had prepared positions this time. So my opponent won the roll off to pick table sides, and it was long edges, and there was a building right in front of where the prepared position was, and it looked like he'd be able to basically advance right up to it and then move into it. If he kind of got a guts off, he could just get his giant squad in there turn 1. So I needed to make sure that I took that objective early, because I wasn't confident in my ability to clear out six Style Trooper out of a building and deal with all the heavy armor if he knew where I had to kind of push. So my plan was I was burning Superior Code Breaking turn 1. I deployed my Cerberus attack squad aggressively in the center to kind of push up and just immediately take that objective in the center. The secondaries this time were 2 more objectives, one on the left flank, one on the right flank. And if you claimed one of those, you'd get the secondary points. So I was waiting and waiting to see where the Tiger would go, and luckily the way deployment fell, he had to place it before I'd finished placing, so I got to completely refuse that flank. You see from this picture post-deployment that my Percival just said, nah, we're not having any of that. I wanted 14 buildings between the Tiger and me. So I was pretty happy with this game. I said turn 1, the dogs just did a run move, got straight onto the objective, got that captured early, and then we just played a steady game of shoot whatever I can. Vogel Spina came around from behind that big barn house, tried to threaten, did get off a shot, but then the Percival immediately dealt with that, which was great. My Galahad murdered the anti-tank gun, which was deployed in that barn as well. So they didn't have anything to shoot at. So they got to play really safe for the rest of the game, kind of just dancing around terrain, kind of break line of sight from anything that was threatening them. So as the Cerberus squad was worn down, they could take their position and replace them. Eventually the dogs step into a building and the Galahads move up, so that there's just more stuff that he has to just get completely rid of. He can't leave one guy there because I own the objective and he has to clear me out to be able to take it from me at this point. This game, the Mark 1s didn't get troubled until turn 4, turn 5. So they were just unleashing volleys onto a style troop and did much better. Not having had to deal with hard to kill and cover on top of that made their lives a lot easier. So they just chewed things up. I did the guts on them this game, just double guts for 60 shots in a turn. Finishing a win, obviously I had the centre objective. I didn't go anywhere near the left-hand objective because I couldn't deal with that tiger, so there was no point trying to get that secondary. So I took the right-hand secondary. Again, the hunter platform was great. Just its maneuverability, the fact that it is a normal speed automated infantry, so it can run 12. That let me get onto there and just kind of sit in cover, take pot shots at any style trooper who stuck the head out, but was generally pretty safe. And this was against Will. Will was running an Axis army, and this was actually a French army that was using the Axis rules. It was really interesting. We were playing one World's objectives. My name escapes me at the moment, but basically we rolled up and we had 6 objectives after a dice roll. I placed 3, Will placed 3, and I was pretty sure, as I'd kind of clumped the 3 that I placed quite tight in one quarter. So I thought Will was going to make us get up and move around, but he didn't. He was after a game we spoke, and he said that he was concerned that side of the table was really open. So he took the quarter opposite that so we could move into it and around it. But that gave me a bunch of line of sight blocking terrain to hide stuff behind. So he had a Schwerfield emplacement. So once you place it, he can't move. And he had an inexperienced Panther. So they had a railgun, but it's only inexperienced. So it's generally hitting on 3s rather than 2s. But it was just 2 forests in the centre of the table that really decided this game for me. I got to kind of shield all my approach, funneled down this corridor that he just couldn't see through. He did have a good play with the Schwerfield projector in that he had it on ambush, which really limited my Percival's options. But then he ran his, he advanced down the road with his truck that had the style trooper in there, dumped them out. But then I was like, well, I have no reason to blow his truck up now. And that is blocking line of fire onto his rail Panther. So it let me kind of move around that side of the table. And as long as I had that truck in the Panther's line of fire, he couldn't shoot me with the railgun. So that was really good for me. The dogs again played a stirring role in trying to contest objectives, as did the hunter platform. They went and pushed up aggressively onto 2 objectives on the neutral side, on Will's side of the table. So I had to contend with Totem Core and Nakjaga, and just a lot of pressure. But they did well underneath that pressure. They cleaned out, with helping fire from the Mark IIs, they cleaned out the Style Trooper. They cleaned out with Nakjaga with the Percival jumping across to help. The Percival went all out again, close to point blank range with a Nakjaga, because my hunter. I was really worried that the hunter platform was the only thing that I could use to control and keep those objectives on that side of the table. So if he charged with those Nakjaga, I wasn't very confident. I got the Percival into position, opened up with the Tesla at point blank, and man, did I miss the US rerolls because it was just terrible. The weapons, the medium rocket system missed. I got him down to 2 models, but I wasn't going to be enough. He charged in. I actually killed 1 in combat, so it was 1 guy left, but he's got deadly 2 pen on his attacks. He got 2 wounds, and then I passed both of my hard to kill saves on the hunter platform. which meant that I won the combat. There's only one guy left. Yeah, he can't be fanatical on his own, and they weren't fearless because he didn't have the surge. So that I won that combat with the hunter platform, just punching someone in the face. So that's why he was the all-star of the game. And yeah, there was a bunch of really interesting stuff in this game. I focused fire on some inexperienced shirkers because I just wanted them out of the game. The NATO ban that he brought across really threatened. They were amazing, very good at just applying pressure. He got a surge onto them, so they jumped from claiming this objective. They moved across into the building and shot out the building. Well, it was ruins, not a building, but you know what I mean. Then they, because they've got fieldcraft, they just ran out, assaulted a unit, killed that unit, went into ambush, and then they ambushed again off of that ambush order and just really put paid to a lot of little robots. They weren't very happy after that. But at the end of the game, I actually conceded. I managed to kill all of his infantry. So he only had the totem core, which I basically ignored them. They were going to get to eat whatever they got to eat. I forced him to kind of deal with the dogs with them, but by coming through the building, it meant that he had to kind of lumber because it was rubble. So he can't run out of it. So he only got to do one thing with them, and they couldn't take back the objective after they killed the dogs because they have limited intelligence. So yeah, it was a weird game, really back and forth in kills, but because of the mission, I held 4. Yeah, it was very bloody. The natural ban, they hurt a lot. The Rail Panther wasn't. The table just didn't allow it to kind of play, and I do think it was a mistake on Will's part with that truck, just because of how tight that line of fire was. Going in that direction just shut down. It didn't really have anywhere to go for a couple of turns. He did get to shoot it like 2 or 3 times at point blank into things, and that was his plan. I'm going to throw it into you at point blank and make you have to deal with it. And I just decided not to. So I ended up around about 5th, tied for 5th place on secondaries. But I felt like it was a good day. The winner was Paul Filburn. He ran a really interesting US list. I think I'll try and see if I can find a picture and post that up as well. But his winning list had a bunch of regular US infantry in it, regular Sherman, like not as in a non-Tesla Sherman, a non-Tesla Stuart, just all of these bolt action units to put pressure on you while his linebacker and his Fireflies were getting some work done as well. That was really interesting to see. But yeah, overall, a really great day. Thanks to everyone at HQ Store putting on a great event. All my opponents were amazing to play with. And yeah, Konflikt was really good fun.